Okay, so welcome to all. This is the second lecture on motor current signature analysis as a part of uh, condition based maintenance. Okay, so already we understood that if the driven equipment having some fault, okay, so that it will be the torque requirement. If there is a fault, means there is a misalignment or there is a preload or there is some looseness or this kind of any abnormal situation is there in the driven equipment, then the torque requirement also will be unusual, and definitely that it will be reflected in the motor current. So already we learned that. So today we will slightly explore more, because already we have seen that the torque producing current component for an induction machine is the quadrature current. But even though if you get the quadrature current directly, then it will be much more easier to predict what fault frequency, that means what kind of fault it is there in the driven equipment. But to from the phase current or line current to predict the quadrature current, it's not a simple thing. Okay, you need to have DSP, you have to take the current, then you have to find out the instantaneous rotor flux position, and from there you have to do, it's a complex mathematics and lot of approximation, all these things it will be there. So once we are going to do something and it is not economic, I don't think it's a solution. So we have to do it we have to do all this analysis in a cost effective manner. So in the next lecture I will discuss how to sense the current very easily, and it will not the electromagnetic interference also it will be minimized. What kind of sensor we will be using to sense the motor current signature, so that we will discuss in the subsequent lecture. So today we will slightly, because after capturing the current signature or the current time domain current data, we need to post process it to get the clear picture, because in actual case there will be a lot of noise. So that noise you have to filter it, then we need to post process it, and all these things are there. So we will take today another example. So here see, I am injecting, there is a fault frequency in the torque, this is 70 Hertz. We will try to find out how to get that, how to, from the current signature analysis, how to find out that what actually that frequency component is. So in this case we are capturing the phase current, and here I have used a band stop filter, because we know 50 Hertz is the fundamental. I want to stop it. I want to only take the other fault frequency. So using this data I will be doing the further analysis in MATLAB. So we will learn how today we will learn how the Excel data which is saved after data logging, how that will be imported to MATLAB and how it will be post processed. For this, few small mathematics I want to tell. Say our fundamental is, say there is a fault, that vibration is say 70 hertz, as already I have shown, and my supply frequency is 50 hertz. So when this 50 hertz will be modulated by 70 hertz, you will be getting a component of, so what basically this is, I can tell this is cos A, and it will be modulated by cos B. So what basically, this is a product. So if I convert into sum, so half cos A plus B and cos A minus B. Okay. So now if I able to, so this is, you see, if this is my 50 hertz, if you take the, after that, this signature, this waveform, if I take the FFT, so my 50 hertz will be the center one, and there will be two sideband will be there. So this is A minus B, and this will be A plus B. So here the steps I am telling: first I will capture the phase current, then that phase current I will pass through a band stop filter. So basically the center frequency will be 50 hertz, and I will give a very small pass band. So these are the pass bands. So already in that in the model I have shown you. You see here, this is my center frequency and this is the stop band. Okay, 10 hertz I given. So after that, this data I will be taking to MATLAB. I will import this data to MATLAB workspace, and then I will be doing the FFT. After FFT, I will find these two sidebands. So one will be A plus B and another will be A minus B. So if I got this, then if I add these two and divide by 2, I will get my fault frequency. So this only I am going to do. So I have saved this data, all the time domain data, in this comma separated that CSV file whose name is data. So I am reading that data. Then the first column is the time, second column is my R phase current, fifth column is the quadrature current, which we are getting from the model, but actually we will only get IR, and here I am using the demodulated waveform, which is nothing but passing the R phase current through a band stop filter. So if you run it, you see in the workspace all the value has come, and now this is my Simulink. Here I am using the block from workspace. The value will be importing to Simulink. So now if you see here, this is the array time comma that R phase current, and I am taking that demodulated so this is that after passing through the band stop filter. So this is this simple Simulink model I have created. So if I run it, in the oscilloscope you will be able to see. Now you see in the third waveform, as I have put a band stop filter, so that 50 Hertz has been eliminated here. So now if we take the FFT of this, clear picture will be there. So let us see that. So this is my tool. I will go to FFT. So I'll be much more bother about that my phase current after stopping the 50 Hertz. So my laptop is very slow. So here I will select, that is my input 3, and you see the red color. I am taking that because this initially, if I start from 0, there will be some transients. This will give also some different indications. So I'll take a 0.4 second to 0.8 second, 20 from 0.4 second to next 20 cycles. So let us do the FFT. See, if I do the FFT, I am getting a dominant peak at, so this is my 50 Hertz, and there is a peak at 20 Hertz and 120 Hertz. So this 120 is A plus B. So now if I see my A plus B is equal to 120, and this is the lower side band. So this is A minus B. So that is 20. So if I add both, so 2A is equal to 140 and my A is equal to 70. Got it? So now here I have generated the fault, but in some lecture, in the last lecture, I will be generating this fault from a experimental setup, physical setup, and from there we will find out what is that fault or the vibration from the motor current signature. Okay, so this was the second lecture. So here what step we followed? We will capture the time domain data, that means the phase current. Then we will, after capturing the phase current, we will pass it through a band stop filter, where I will try to eliminate the 50 Hertz. Then we will take the data to MATLAB workspace. We will do the FFT, and after FFT we will get 2 sidebands. If I get that 2 sidebands, from there very easily I can find out what is my fault frequency. So this was all about today's lecture. Hope all you have understood. Thank you so much.